Hi, welcome to this pick a pile reading. This is if you've been waiting for your ex to come back or your ex. What do we need to know about that? So pick pile 1, pile 2 or pile 3. This is a mixture of tarot and oracle just to see where you are. We've also got the Akashic records to understand why we're waiting for your ex for a long time. Pick card 1, 2 or 3. So if you picked card 1, we'll just put these to the side. So this is pile 1. So say for instance you picked pile 1 and you're waiting for your ex. What does that mean? Well, it means here that with the 7 of Wands, you are trying your very best to stand up for your right. Now, to stand up for your right and have this is almost like you feel unjustified why you have to wait for the ex. So standing up for your rights and who you are is going to be a very special time to realise perhaps that do you want to stay in this situation or do you want to leave? So you feel very unjust why you have to wait because you saw nothing wrong with the relationship. So it seems a little bit baffling if some of you have been blocked or they're just not communicating. So why is that? Well, with the Empress here, it shows quite clearly that you need to empower yourself completely because, like we said, you did nothing wrong. So you need to develop who you are. It doesn't matter if they have communicated or not recently. The energy will be surround you if you actually be like that Empress. So really understand that growth and patience is necessary, but to stand up for yourself, you have to be above the crowd. You have to be waiting in a way that's waiting for your perfect relationship. Not necessarily them, but for just owning yourself and all the rest. So what are you learning? Well, here with the Page of Pentacles, it is difficult at times to wait for this ex. And you have a difference between being the Empress and then being in poverty. So one has to really empower yourself with that, with the 7 of Wands here, and say, right, I did absolutely nothing wrong. I find this completely unjustified why I'm waiting. Why am I waiting? Well, some of the things here is like this person doesn't want to be caught stealing the bread. So it's a poverty way of thinking of waiting for your ex. So you have to stand up for yourself and go, hang on a minute. Why should I wait for the ex? Am I not good enough? Well, you are with the Empress. You are more than good enough. But you have to realise you are good for yourself. You are good in other circumstances. You don't have to wait. You don't have to face this challenge. Why should you? This card here says, look towards the future. It is a little bit of innocence sometimes, waiting for the ex. If you believe that your ex is just going to give to you everything that you want, that is called poverty thinking. You need your complete abundance now as the Empress, that glorious person who doesn't have to listen or doesn't have to go after she wants. Everything just comes towards you. Here, if we think about it, nothing is coming and we're going to get told off about it. So what is the journey, the soul journey? Distant thunder, clear the air. So thunder does clear the air. It's almost like those electrons like that, and it does clear everything. So maybe for you, if you can realise that, okay, it is distance and it's thunder. A lot of people don't like thunder because it's noisy, it's stressful, and it's distance. So this in itself means that your ex is so distant and so hostile that we need to clear everything to be able to be our Empress. Also, And we'll see why this is happening to you with the Akashic records. So to empower yourself, directing my focus onto what's thriving creates more of what I want. And this, again, I have to say, is definitely the Empress. The Empress is full of growth, full of prosperity, and knows how to have patience with that perfect relationship. So maybe you're thinking, oh, that relationship was easy. So we keep going back to the same thing. But with the Empress, that's sturdy growth forward. You do have an archangel with this, and it is a sacred plan. There is a sacred plan for you. And if you remember, directing your focus on what's thriving, not what's been, but what's growing. So that is your sacred plan. Concentrate on the new growth and not the old growth. So why is this happening, and why are you still waiting for the situation? Well, the scribe here is waiting to hear, but it's in the communication. So you really have to communicate to yourself quite clearly what has gone on. What has gone on is a whirlwind of energy. And also the scribe is like yourself. If you are empowering yourself and being this Empress, you're going to write now your own story. You're going to create your own story. So you've been, in your mind, creating the wrong story of the wrong time, of the ex coming back all the time. So it is a case of poverty thinking. It really is a poverty thought that, okay, I can't get anyone else better. They were the best. They treated me like this, that and the other. But you can gain that again in a more rich garb than this poverty garb. And you can see here with the Four of Scrolls, the karmic trench. The karmic trench is we do things the same. We're repeating the same pattern. So it's like the same pattern of waiting for something else. So it's an excuse not to empower ourselves like the Empress to move forward. So this is clearly saying, instead of waiting for the ex, why don't you become the queen or the king of your world with richness instead of poverty? Don't think what you haven't got, but thrive on what you have got, because it creates more. We don't want more of the poverty, we want more of the empowerment, and it does take patience for that to grow. So it is distant thunder, clear the air, clear your thoughts, and you be that Empress where you have everything. So I hope that helped. So pile 2. Pile 2. So you have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands waiting for your ex. It's a struggle. It's a back pain. And you can't support yourself in this. It's like all that heaviness is just weighing you down. So this is a huge chore. You will feel suppressed. You will feel, perhaps you're feeling frustrated and angry as well at the situation, because it looks like there is no end in sight. So all this waiting is such a trauma. So one has to look at what you have achieved within this goal though. You have had a great time and you're really wanting to make a better time. See the pregnancy there. So you want to give birth to the situation, but it's just too much hassle at the moment, and you do wish for it, and that's why you're willing to wait. But what exactly are you wishing for? Are you wishing for more loyalty? Do you want more happiness? What is it? Are you trying to do something for them instead of you? So maybe waiting is worthwhile. But when we get this Fool card, it's like maybe you should trust yourself a little bit more and move towards that. So depending on how long you've been waiting, and yes, it is a struggle, this can turn into a happier time. It can if you meet the journey. But the start of waiting and waiting is difficult. So one has to trust. You have had a good relationship in the past and it can happen again. But will it happen with somebody else? Is it too much to wait for? So your Sacred Journey card is choosing your path. All is possible along the path. Along the path. So for you guys, you have to, just trust. When we say trust, the ability that you have and the ability that your spirit guides and the universe has for you, you have to accept. So when you've been waiting for a long time, do you have to still wait, or can you choose your own path? This indicates yes, you can. But is that path waiting? It depends what sort of communication you've had from your ex and whether it is actually worth waiting for. If you're not getting any communication, this dog here is going to push you over the cliff to move on. Just saying. Right. So, this is your attractor. My greatest spiritual shifts don't come through force. They come through freedom. So if you feel you're not free at all, with this particular card under here, and you feel it is such a heavy chore, then why are we waiting? So this is not the freedom that you perhaps want. It's very much difficult to actually grasp. So you've got an angel here, ask and receive. So this is very in keeping with this card. You're wishing. But what exactly are you wishing for? Do you really want the ex back? Or do you wish for a better relationship and you just think that it was with that person? So the Nine of Cups is a great card to have, but it's not the Ten of Cups. You still need more freedom. You still need to choose your path, but trust it. But the archangels are clearly saying for you, ask and receive. So maybe ask for that perfect relationship, and maybe ask for, please show me if I should be waiting for my ex. So why is this happening? Well, you've got the initiation of Saint Germain. So this means patience, maybe studying a little bit more of what it is that you want. So for you guys, waiting for an ex means doing the self-love, trusting yourself more, and definitely asking for a higher aspect. When we go through the initiation of a spiritual awareness, we are dropping a lot of things to be able to receive a bigger picture. And that's why you have to choose your path. If you want to wait, you've chosen your path to wait. It doesn't mean to say they're coming along, because after all, it's very tiresome. Sometimes we can be very lazy within this card. It's like, yes, I'm there. I know what I'm doing. I'm waiting. I'm wishing. I'm hoping. But we have to trust that the universe is going to give to us, and it does. But you have to look at the freedom of choice, the freedom not through force. So sometimes we are forcing the ex to come back. Oh, I'll force the issue. I'm comfortable with them. Even though they've treated me rubbish, I'm still comfortable. This is why you've also, on the Akashic Records, got the Ark of the Covenant. You're there, protecting it. Yes, he's fine. He's going to ring me. Yes, he's fine. He's going to do X, Y, and Z. So all the time we've had this precious thing within us, and we're guarding it, and soon we forget what's in it. So we forget what was in the past relationship. We just got this kind of memory, fantasy. So why are we guarding it so much? So it is up to you with this particular path, whether you do wait for them or not, because it does indicate choose your own path. But if you feel you're not free and you're feeling like you're in limbo, that is not freedom. So ask your archangel, ask and receive, ask for some guidance to actually have the perfect relationship that can honour and keep you in a loyal situation. It's like you have to be loyal to yourself. This is the freedom. So do ask and receive what it is that you actually want. Okay? I hope that helps a little bit. Right. So, pile 3. So if you chose this stone and pile 3, this is your reading today. So for pile 3, you've got the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is one of those aspects where communication is definitely here. All the knowledge about this situation. Maybe they've given you information and you're just hanging on to it. Maybe, you know, like you want to kind of move on. But the thing is, instead of waiting for them, one needs to empower yourself with what is going on. So if you feel that you can communicate quite wisely and clearly about the situation, what is it that you actually want from the ex? Do you want those feelings back? Because that was the only time that you had feelings. So if that is the case, you can replicate that feeling with anybody. It's not just the ex. Because this is a very stern, cold person. And it doesn't look like they're ready to move. It's like they're entrenched in the whys and the woes and the blames. And it's almost like they've thrown down the sword of justice as well. They're just not interested. They seem to be not interested. You do have the Sun card, which is just moving forward in an innocent aspect. All the sunflowers are around and your horoscope is here. So it says to me that where you truly connected to this person, you may have believed you are, but I think it's time for you to be happy for yourself. And if you're not happy, then what are we doing with this person? Because the world is here, you see. You've got the sun and the world. And it's like for you to realise just what it has gone on has been an eye-opener. It's almost like the whole cycle of who you are and what you've learnt from this has grown significantly. What is clear is how you felt inside is not an indication of how things feel on the outside. So it's almost like them being so cold is really making you not feel happy at all. So really look hard at the lessons that you have learned through this particular waiting aspect. There is vast vistas ahead, and it says expand your horizons. And one of the best aspects of having the world is you're at an end of a soul chapter. So it means you can expand your vistas. You can go into other arenas because you've learned from the past. You know what you have learned, what not to expect from another relationship. You can empower yourself. So it says here that when I connect to the spiritual realm, I open the door to receive divine guidance, clear direction, and great wisdom. So you will have received perhaps a greater wisdom of going through this relationship. But unless this person is going to communicate, you can't expand anywhere. So in order to expand, one needs to go, right, okay, they haven't communicated, maybe it's time to say bye-bye. Expect miracles in your life. This is a great thing. So this will happen to you when you have those vast vistas. So you need to really have a childlike innocence and happiness and create your own journey. It's like this guy's travelling in a box, but it's a box of wonder. Every time he goes in, he opens it, and there's another adventure ahead. So your miracle in itself is you. It's within you to actually see what it is that you truly want. And waiting for the ex may not be necessarily correct. So we have the Six of Forces with your Akashic record. So this basically means the waterfall. So when your emotions always fall, you don't know where they're going to land. So this is why it's vitally important to take charge of who you are and at least your emotions. When they sway this way and that, oh, I will get back with the ex, I won't. It's a real hard hit. So when the waterfall here, it brings a lot of breath, fresh air and clarity. but it mixes them all up at the same time. So it's very forceful, but eventually it just falls into a more peaceful aspect. So this is what kind of is like when you're still thinking of the ex, and your emotions are going all over the place, and it lands on a rock and it's splattered everywhere in all directions, but you must be concise within your emotions. So again, this feeling of happiness is only within yourself and not on the outside. And we've got the 3 of keys here, the chess game. So maybe they've been playing a lot of games, mind games with you, and of course with the King of Swords you're going to get that. But every move they make, you make a move, but you can't make your winning move unless you say, this game is not important. I don't need to strategize. I need to just flow. So it's almost like, don't allow them to play games. If they've communicated, I'll see you next week, or yeah, I'm interested, but then don't follow up on it, then that's not the right thing to actually do. So this is why perhaps you've got the World, and you've learned emotionally how to deal with this person. No, I'm not playing your game anymore. I'm not interested. So you can grow here your own wand of truth and let it bloom. Expect miracles in your life. So really, it is always up to you whether you want to wait or more. But it's like the freedom comes from the innocence of happiness, and a child will always go towards what is happy. So if you're not happy waiting, because say if nothing happens, so are you just going to wait until checkmate when nothing is happening and it's the end of your life? Or are you going to strategically say, I don't have to play this game anymore. I'm the only one on the chessboard. I can move wherever I want, because that is a miracle in itself. So it's very difficult, isn't it? But unless they're going to communicate clearly, concisely, and make a plan, but if they're just being wishy-washy all the time about, oh yeah, we might, or there's no communication because he's too tied up in overthinking things, then it's not going to happen. So I wish you all the best, and see you next time.